The bridge of the U.S. Defiant fell silent as dozens of enemy warships materialized from hyperspace, their massive hulls blotting out the stars. Captain Marcus Reed stood motionless at the center of his command deck, watching the tactical display. As red dots multiplied across the screen like a deadly constellation. 47 ships and counting, Captain, reported Lieutenant Torres from her sensor station, her voice steady despite the impossible odds. Dreadnoughts, cruisers, and destroyer escorts. They've got us completely surrounded. The alien fleet belonged to the Corvani Empire, a spacefaring civilization that had conquered dozens of worlds through sheer military might. Their ships were sleek and predatory, designed for one purpose: overwhelming their enemies through superior numbers and firepower. Each vessel bristled with plasma cannons and missile tubes, their dark hulls reflecting the cold light of distant stars. Reed had been expecting this confrontation for weeks. The Defiant was humanity's newest experimental vessel, equipped with prototype technology that the Corvani desperately wanted to capture or destroy. Earth's military command had sent the ship on what everyone knew might be a suicide mission: to test their latest innovations against the galaxy's most feared navy. "Communications incoming, sir," called out Ensign Blake from the comm station. "They're demanding our surrender." The main screen flickered to life, revealing the angular features of Admiral Vex, Supreme Commander of the Corvani Third Fleet. His silver skin gleamed under the harsh lighting of his command bridge, and his 4 eyes fixed on Reed with predatory intensity. "Human vessel," Vex spoke in perfect English, his translator rendering his words with mechanical precision. "You are surrounded and outgunned by a ratio of 47 to 1. Surrender your ship intact, and your crew will be granted the honor of serving the Empire as slaves. Refuse, and you will be reduced to atoms." Reed stepped forward, his weathered face showing no trace of fear. At 62, he had fought in 3 interstellar conflicts and earned his reputation as one of humanity's finest tacticians. His gray hair and scarred hands told the story of a career spent defending Earth's interests against hostile alien races. "Admiral Vex," Reed replied calmly, "I appreciate the generous offer, but I'm afraid we'll have to decline." "The Defiant doesn't surrender." Vex's expression darkened. "Then you have chosen death, human. Your species' arrogance will be your downfall." The transmission ended, and the enemy fleet began moving into attack formation. The Corvani ships arranged themselves in a perfect sphere around the lone human vessel, their weapons charging with ominous energy. "All hands battle stations," Reed announced over the ship's intercom. "This is what we came here to do. Let's show them what human engineering can accomplish." The Defiant was unlike any ship humanity had ever built. Rather than focusing on heavy armor or massive weapons, Earth scientists had pursued a different path. The vessel was equipped with experimental shielding technology, advanced maneuvering systems, and a revolutionary new propulsion drive that could manipulate spacetime itself. "Initiating quantum field generators," reported Chief Engineer Davis. From the engine room, "All systems green. We're ready for combat maneuvers, Captain." The first wave of enemy fire erupted across space like a deadly fireworks display. Plasma bolts and missile salvos converged on the Defiant from all directions, enough firepower to reduce a small moon to rubble. The human ship vanished in a brilliant explosion of light and energy. When the glare faded, the Corvani fleet stared in disbelief. The Defiant hung motionless in space, completely undamaged. The experimental shields had absorbed and redirected the entire barrage, converting the incoming energy into power for the ship's systems. "Impossible," Vex whispered from his command throne. "Fire again. All ships, maximum yield." The second barrage was even more devastating than the first, but the result was identical. The human ship emerged unscathed, its hull gleaming defiantly in the starlight. Reed smiled grimly. "Now it's our turn." "Helm," execute pattern Delta 7. The Defiant suddenly accelerated to impossible speeds, its quantum drive bending the fabric of space around it. The ship seemed to exist in multiple locations simultaneously, confusing enemy targeting systems as it danced between the massive Corvani vessels. Human weapons technology had evolved along different lines than their alien counterparts. Rather than relying on brute force, Earth's military had developed precision systems designed to exploit weaknesses in enemy ship designs. The Defiant's guns fired concentrated bursts of exotic particles that could penetrate any known shielding technology. One by one, Corvani ships began exploding as the human vessel weaved through their formation like a ghost. The enemy's superior numbers became a liability as they struggled to target a ship that seemed to phase in and out of reality. "This is impossible!" Admiral Vex screamed as his flagship shuddered under direct hits. No single vessel can defeat an entire fleet, but the impossible was happening before his eyes. The Defiant moved with fluid grace between the lumbering enemy warships, its guns speaking with deadly accuracy. Each shot found critical systems, reactor cores, and command centers with surgical precision. Within 20 minutes, the once mighty Corvani fleet was reduced to drifting wreckage. Only Vex's flagship remained intact, its weapons offline and engines failing. Reed opened a channel to the crippled vessel. "Admiral, this is Captain Reed. I believe you wanted to discuss surrender terms." The alien commander stared at his screens in stunned silence, watching debris from his fleet drift past his viewports. His perfect formation had been shattered by a single human ship through tactics and technology he couldn't begin to comprehend. "How?" Vex asked simply. "Humanity has learned that survival isn't about having the biggest guns or the most ships," Reed replied. "It's about adaptation, innovation, and the refusal to give up when the odds seem impossible. We've been the underdogs in this galaxy since the day we left Earth, and that's taught us to be creative." The Defiant turned toward home, leaving the broken Corvani fleet behind. Word of the impossible victory would spread throughout the galaxy, carrying a simple message: humanity would not be conquered or enslaved. They would fight with ingenuity and determination, turning their enemies' strengths against them. As the human ship jumped to hyperspace, Captain Reed allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. The mission had been a complete success. Earth's new technology had proven itself against overwhelming odds, and the galaxy would soon learn that humans were not to be underestimated. The stars held many dangers for humanity's expanding civilization, but they also held infinite possibilities for those brave enough to reach for them.